So, Ryan, last time we had you on the show was a few days before your fight. Just talk about the fight with Connor.
My favorite fight yet in my career. I think, everything came together flawlessly, way better than I expected. I thought that I would have a much tougher time in that fight. So to go out there and be able to execute everything I trained and have everything work to a T and to go out there and get the finish over a tough guy that had never been finished before was just awesome. It was a huge confidence boost for me and, easily my favorite fight so far that I've had.
Okay, man, and the challenges get tougher and tougher here. Just talk about your next opponent.
I got Joe Duarte coming up in a couple weeks, and that's definitely another step up in competition. He's got a great record, a great skill set. Just a dangerous fighter anywhere the fight goes. So, I got my hands full, but training camp's been awesome, and I feel like everything's coming together right now at the perfect time, and I'm looking to go out there and impress again.
Okay, and what do you think you need to do in this fight to win? What are your keys to victory?
I just think I need to be smart, look out for his right hand. He's got a good, tricky right hand. He hits hard. And I think if I push the pace and force him to grapple with me, that eventually I'll be able to break him, similar to how I did with Connor.
Okay, man. And who are some of the guys at Couture that you're training with to get ready for this fight?
Some of the guys I've been most consistent training with this camp have been Justin James, who's an amateur about to turn pro, that's a real strong wrestler and just a good, tough, scrappy kid. Jimmy Jones is another guy that's been coming up around the same time as me, that's 4-1 also as a pro at 145. I always get great work with him. He's one of my favorite training partners. So, both of those guys are in camp with fights coming up. It's been convenient to get a lot of work in with them. But then, the usual cast of guys that are at the gym, it rotates, but a lot of the same names. Alessio's got a fight coming up. Haran's always in the gym. Campman just fought. So been seeing a lot of those guys in there too.
Yeah, for sure. And I talked to John Alessio last week, and he said a lot of the older guys have left, but a lot of good young guys in the school right now. Yeah,
we still kind of have our core of guys that have been with us since day one, but they're definitely moving into that next phase in their career, and I think starting to wind down a little bit. So it's great to see that we've got a real good kind of up and coming next wave of guys that are I think really going to start making an impact in the next couple of years.
Okay, man. Do you train full time?
Yeah. I still work part time at the gym as well, but training's my main gig and my first priority.
Okay, cool. Who will be in your corner for this fight?
It'll be Tim Lane, my dad, and Neil Melanson again. Same crew I've had for the last several.
Hey, man, can you give me a prediction in this big fight happening in Vegas next week? Chael Sonnen, Anderson Silva.
Such a tough fight to predict. If I get my way, I'd love to see Chael go out there and finish what he started in the last one and just not have that lapse and not get caught. I'd love to see him pound out a 25-minute decision on Anderson, but Anderson's so dangerous and he's so motivated and fired up, I think it could just as easily go the other way and be a short night for Chael. So really too tough to call on that one, but my heart's with Chael winning the decision.
Okay, man, and one final question here. It's about judging. A lot of talk about the judging controversy in all combat sports. Do you think instant replay could help MMA?
I don't know how much that would help. It's still such a subjective thing, and it's rarely, just one deciding factor, one thing that you could replay that decides a round or decides a fight. I think that instant replay could potentially help with some of the stoppages that are controversial, but even then there's a whole new can of worms that you open with, how do you reset and do you give somebody an advantage with all that extra time while it's being reviewed? And, it's just such a tough thing that I think the best thing we can do to try and minimize that controversy is just up the education level of the judges who are making these calls and somehow try and get some more consistency out of them. Because, I feel like, for instance, just with the Maynard-Guida fight recently,
sure.
Watching that, I was dead sure that Guida was going to get the decision because I felt like it was a similar fight to how Diaz and Condit went. And, I didn't necessarily agree with that decision the first time through. I thought Diaz did enough to win that fight, and so I just, based on that experience, I thought that Guido would probably get the nod. So I was pleasantly surprised when Gray did. But they were such, I know the numbers were a lot wider in the Condit Diaz fight than they were in the Maynard Guida fight, but just it felt like similar fights to me and drastically different decisions. So
awesome stuff. You want to throw out your Twitter?
At Ryan D. Couture, come find me on Twitter and drop me a line.
Okay, Ryan. Thanks for the time.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Okay, see ya.